tonight on CTV News at 5.
The lemonade stand was an idea that he had because he wanted to go see Jelly Roll.
Sweet success, a lemonade stand that led to more than just concert tickets.
Some years it's longer than others, and this year is the longest it's ever been.
Knitting together, a community project stretches further than ever.
It's very exciting, and she's a role model for girls like me.
Hockey history, the Walter Cup makes its way to the East Coast.
Very welcome rain and showers in the region this evening, mostly clearing through tonight.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Katie Kelly in for Maria Panapallis. Thanks for joining us. First at 5 tonight, rain relief. After weeks of parched lawns, dry wells, and an ongoing fire ban, some Maritimers are finally seeing something they've been waiting for. Rain. But will it be enough to make a difference? CTV's Hafsa Arif asks the professionals. Hey, Hafsa.
Well, this rain is the people I've spoken to, it's not nearly enough to undo some of the damage we've seen.
The grass is scorched. Trees and crops have been under stress for months. And now, after one of the driest summers on record, rain is falling across much of Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia will be the province that sees the most widespread, steadier rain, especially around the Atlantic coastline and into the east, including Cape Breton. More showery conditions for the rest of the Maritime.
But for many farmers, the damage has already been done.
This has probably been one of the most challenging seasons for anybody in horticulture. As far as we're waiting for the records, but this will be one of the years that probably breaks one of those records.
That means fruit and vegetable harvests could be smaller this fall, impacting farmers' bottom lines.
Crop size in general, no matter what vegetable it is or fruit, is going to be a lot smaller. Long-term storage might become a problem just where the crops weren't, fully developed to their peak potential.
Nova Scotia could see 10 to 30 millimeters of rain. While it's welcome, it's not nearly enough.
It's not something that just one weather system, one rainy day fixes. It's going to take probably a couple months of some pretty persistent wet weather.
While it could help slow the spread of the Long Lake wildfire in Annapolis County, this rainfall's only a dent on months of severe dry and hot conditions.
We needed about another 6 to 8 times to really recover from the drought conditions that developed throughout the summer months. So this is a good start. If we can get it here over the next couple of weeks, another 6 to 8 times, then we'll be talking.
For farmers like Philip Ketty, the lesson from this summer is pretty clear. Plan for more summers like it.
Puts the onus, I guess, on the industry to proactively look at ways that we can better manage our water and set up, the ability to irrigate more crops.
Well drillers tell me many wells are drying up and they're having to dig deeper every week. It's clear Nova Scotia's recovery from this summer's drought will take far more than a passing shower. Katie?
Thank you so much, Hafsa. CTV's Hafsa Arif for us in our Halifax newsroom this evening. That does bring us to tonight's web poll. We're asking, should the woods ban? Your options are yes, any amount of rain should remove the ban, or no, much more rain is needed. You can head to ctvnewsatlantic.ca to weigh in and to see our latest poll results. Todd Battis joins us now with a preview of CTV News at 6. Todd.
Hi, Katie. And as you can appreciate, the wildfire situation will make up a large part of the newscast tonight. The out-of-control wildfire in Nova Scotia's Annapolis County keeps getting larger, as you mentioned. Now 8,000 hectares, or approximately 80 square kilometers. About 330 properties have been evacuated. Some homes have been destroyed. Coming up at 6, we'll hear about a new emergency financial support program from the province. In New Brunswick, officials say progress is being made, and now they're removing the restrictions on all Crown land as of midnight tonight, but say conditions are still very dry, and they're urging people to be extra cautious. So far, though, the cooler weather and the rain seem to be making a difference. Lots of concern tonight on the campus of Dalhousie University in Halifax. Students are starting to arrive, and as you can appreciate, they are worried about their classes. Faculty members are on the picket line, and so far no new talks are scheduled. The university says residences are opening on schedule, and students should plan to move in. Okay, let's get right to Kaylin now, because the rain is everything. Kaylin?
Yeah, it certainly is, especially after a weekend where the gusty southerly winds accelerated the growth of that fire in around the Long Lake region in Nova Scotia. Also pushed some of the near-surface smoke into southern areas of New Brunswick, even parts of PEI, triggering some air quality statements to be issued. Temperatures right now across the Maritimes for this evening are mostly sitting around the high teens and low 20s, so there is some humidity in the air, so humidex values actually making it feel around the mid to high 20s. Checking in on dew point temperatures, that higher level of moisture in the air represented by dew points that are up into the high teens, so relative humidity levels as well are higher, especially those areas seeing some falling rain at this moment. They're mostly up between 80 and 100%. That higher level of relative humidity is very welcome when it comes to the situation with the wildfires. Taking a look at the winds, are still around from the south. They're being sustained in a lot of cases between 10 and 25 kilometers per hour, a little bit gustier around parts of the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. Otherwise, the gusts are being held between 30 and 40. Over on radar and satellite, here's a look at the rain and the showers making their way through the region. Now, the steadier rain that could be even heavy at times, is showing up through the yellows, and you can see that's mostly around parts of the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. Was really hoping that some of that heavier rain was going to get into the vicinity of Annapolis County and that Long Lake fire, but it looks like it may have held just a little bit further towards the east. Showery conditions for other parts of the Maritimes. I'll continue to update you on the wet weather coming through a little bit later on. Katie.
Thank you so much, Kaylin. Well, the Halifax Art Book Fair returned to the city over the weekend. As CTV's Vanessa Wright reports, the event puts a spotlight on the work of authors and publishers from across the Maritimes.
For the second year in a row, Halifax has created a space solely for authors and publishers of art books.
The Art Book Fair as a format hasn't been done in Halifax up until this point, so we felt it was time.
From art catalogs to monographs, the Halifax Art Book Fair allows art enthusiasts to showcase their work. Community members were able to browse and network all day free of cost.
The reaction has been really positive. I think there's been a desire to have sort of a conference like this for the art scene in Halifax.
The event featured publishers from international cities like New York and Berlin, but those here at home were especially grateful for the chance to put the spotlight on their work.
These are all books that I've published with artists and authors kind of across Canada.
This publisher, Jamie Spink, says this kind of event helps put Atlantic publishers on the map.
It's a great opportunity. A lot of this kind of work is quite niche, and so it's not mainstream. It's not often in traditional bookstores. It's really popular in the States, and they're really popping up all over Canada. But having one in Atlantic Canada has been it's so lovely, and it's just it's so nice to be surrounded by peers.
And by a community who carries an appreciation for art and literature all in one. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
We are going to take our first break here on CTV News at 5. Stick with us, though. Still ahead, we visit a yarn shop in Fisherman's Cove that is keeping up with a long-time tradition. And we also have this story.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Arsenault, and this is my boy Hunter Nelson, and he's a really big Jelly Roll fan, so we're super excited to share with you what happened this weekend at YQM Country Fest.
It's a celebration of film.
Hello?
The Oxford Theatre's open to the public.
You get to walk the red carpet, be filmed with your friends, and just take part. I mean, that's an incredible amount of fun.
A yarn shop in Fisherman's Cove is keeping up with a long-time tradition. As CTV's Vanessa Wright shows us, they're helping tourists and locals put their knitting skills to the test.
The Violet Unicorn is just one of many shops you'll find at Fisherman's Cove in Nova Scotia. As owner Leanne Schmidt gets set for another day of busy traffic to her store, she makes time to peek at the progress of a long-time tradition. Every spring, she fills a basket with all different shades of purple yarn.
And I set it out here on the bench with this little tag that just tells people that anyone in any skill level is welcome to sit down and knit a row or two on this scarf. And in the fall, when the air starts to get chilly, we put it on my unicorn here.
She says it started as a fun and unique way to bring people together.
We just wanted some way to form a bit of a community project. And as a knitter, community is always a really big thing. When you go and sit and knit anywhere, people come and talk to you, and it just kind of extended that.
Every day she revels in just how long the scarf has become in the 3 months since it started.
It's kind of a neat, unofficial, unscientific, I guess, view of how many tourists we have every summer, because some years it's longer than others, and this year is the longest it's ever been.
As new faces from different places pass by, Schmidt offers a helping hand to beginners who take on the knitting challenge.
We get people coming in and they'll just go, oh, my grandma's sitting out there knitting. She was so excited to see the basket of yarn. And we get kids sitting there with a grandma or a mom, and they're showing them how to do the basic stitches. And it's really great to see that tradition being continued.
And when it's all said and done, the work of hands from all over the world will be on full display in October, keeping the unicorn cozy until it's time for a new wardrobe piece next spring. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Eastern Passage, Nova Scotia.
Makes me want to learn how to knit.
It's a tightly knit community there.
Oh,
Somebody had to say it.
good one, Kaylin.
Yeah. Well, rain was coming down in the region today. Happy to see that, although it was showery conditions for parts of the Maritime. Still is just showery for some areas. Steadier rain will be on its way towards Sydney a little bit later on. Looking at a couple cruise ships there in the Sydney Harbor. I'll have more on the weather forecast coming up after the break.
Welcome back, Kaylin Mitchell. I used to get mad at you when it rained, but not today.
No, this is very welcome wet weather that is falling across areas of the region. Of course, more is needed, and not everybody is seeing the steadier rain that was falling in areas like the Halifax Harbor, which we're looking at here as we take a look at our sunrise and sunset times from many other parts of the Maritimes. The weather conditions today have ended up being a little bit more showery, with the showers off and on by nature, but even those will be a little bit helpful. Let's take a look at what's going on our weather systems map. This is an area of low pressure and a long weather front that's moved in out of the west. The nice thing about this weather front is, for parts of the Maritimes, is it's tapping into moisture off of the Atlantic, and that moisture is running up that front like a bit of a conveyor belt, and that's why we're seeing some of that steadier rain, even rain heavy at times, on parts of the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. So taking a look at things on radar, that's showing up in areas like the eastern shore, and down towards Halifax, as well as down towards the south shore as well, although it looks like they're starting to get through some of the heaviest stuff. I do have some local rainfall reports down around the south shore, and they got into that first of around 20 millimeters or more. Still early to, of course, go through some finalized rainfall totals. The other area in the Maritimes that I'll bring attention to that could see a downpour right now, up around the northwest of New Brunswick. In the showery conditions, there are some thunderstorms present as that is coming in over the St. Lawrence River Valley. Taking a look at our forecast timeline then for cloud cover and precipitation as we move later into this evening, say all the way up to around midnight. You can see at that point in time, the steadiest of the rain, or the heaviest of it, is starting to clear northeastern areas of Nova Scotia, moving over the Cabot Strait towards parts of Newfoundland. In behind it, there will be partly cloudy conditions into the start of the day for tomorrow, maybe some patchy fog and drizzle to begin Tuesday. Now, moving from Tuesday morning into Tuesday afternoon, fog and drizzle will clear up. The cloud cover will break a little bit. We'll have a mix of sun and cloud. Very low chance throughout the day of a couple spotty showers drifting through. But really, those showers are expected to be so isolated in the Maritimes that it's not much higher than, say, around a 10 to 20% chance for any given community to actually see one of those pass over. Taking a look at winds in the forecast, they will change direction as that front moves through. They're going to become westerly for tomorrow. Going to be on the breezy to blustery side. Some of the wind gusts in the range of around 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight for the Maritimes because of the high level of humidity in the air. It's a little bit stuffy out there. Most of the lows won't be much cooler than 16 to 19 degrees. Up in the northwest of New Brunswick, some low temperatures falling between 12 and 16. Highs in the forecast for tomorrow for New Brunswick will be high teens in the northwest. Otherwise, low to mid 20s, including 26 at around St. Stephen, Fredericton, and Miramichi. Charlottetown, many areas of Prince Edward Island for tomorrow can expect high temperatures between 22 and 25 degrees. And in Nova Scotia tomorrow, most of the high temperatures will be in the low to mid 20s. Some of the warmer areas, including up around the North Shore of the mainland and the Annapolis Valley. Some coastal areas will have some more moderate temperatures, including in the southwest of the province, where Yarmouth will have a high temperature near 19 degrees. All right, let's take a look at our Weather Watcher for tonight. And tonight's Weather Watcher is from 5-year-old Fiona Moore. And Fiona has sent us a drawing of sitting at a picnic table while visiting Nan and Gramps this summer at Pugwash Point in Nova Scotia. Thank you, Fiona. It's a great drawing. And with that, we're going to go over to Katie.
Much, Kaylin. Well, from selling lemonade to singing along to Jelly Roll, a New Brunswick boy's plan to raise enough money to see his favorite artist turned into a night that he and a new friend will never forget.
My name is Jason Jelly Roll D. Ford. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, y'all.
My favorite songs are I Need a Favor, I'm Not Okay, and Liar.
I am Stephanie Arsenault, and this is my boy Hunter Nelson, and we live in Port Elgin, New Brunswick. Well, the lemonade stand was an idea that he had because he wanted to go see Jelly Roll perform at YQM this year, and I just thought that it could be a really beautiful lesson for him to learn to work for something that he wanted, and it ended up being an overwhelming success.
How much the lemonade was, it was $2. And a lot of people didn't really buy lemonade, they just gave money. And also a lot of people got lemonade.
So what happened is that we had kind of just put a post on social media that he had an incredible success at his lemonade stand and that he wanted to give back. It was actually Hunter's idea all on his own to donate some of the money back. And so we said that we would maybe purchase another ticket for another little boy. We really emphasized that we wanted it to be a child to get to experience Jelly Roll just like Hunter was going to. And so when we put a post out on social media, we had gotten a lot of nominees, and the name Maverick just kept coming back up.
Because, like, he had a hard life sometimes because his mom died last year.
Maverick comes from just, I think, some parents that were going through some mental health and some addictions. And so he ended up being in the best care possible with his grandma, Sandra. And she joined us for the concert, and we were super pleased to have her with us. So when Hunter heard Maverick's story, he picked him all on his own. And he was like, yes, that is exactly who I want to bring with me. He deserves it, right?
It was my first time meeting him, and it was pretty special because I got to meet him at a concert. He was funny. We got to go backstage. And so when we were like backstage, we saw like this little thing on a piece of paper. It was in like a little plastic, and it was about my lemonade stand.
So what he's saying is when we were backstage, when we were waiting to meet Jelly Roll, there was Hunter's story was laminated back there sitting on a table for all of the band members to get to see. Then we got confirmation that Jelly Roll had read his story and seen his lemonade stand, and that's how we ended up getting the backstage experience.
He said he'd been reading my story all day, and he gave me a little bit of stuff. Got me a hat. It's signed
in your shirt.
And he got me a shirt too.
I think it was just like we're still taking it all in. We all slept in very late today. We're trying to catch up on all of the hype, but we're still just super grateful for YQM and Jelly Roll's team and everybody who like made this happen. I think social media played a really big part in this for Hunter. And everybody just kept sharing his story and trying to get it seen and get it out there. And I think it was just a really beautiful blessing for everybody to get to experience, especially the kids.
Certainly sounds like it. Congratulations, Hunter, on raising all that money, and you're a pretty generous kid. We are going to take a break, but coming up next, we have Brianne with this story.
I'm Brianne Foley inside the RBC Center in Dartmouth, where the PWHL's Walter Cup is making its first ever maritime public appearance. That story coming up tonight on CTV News at 5.
Welcome back. What's better than one professional hockey cup coming to our region? Obviously two. While Brad Marchand brought the Stanley Cup to Nova Scotia earlier this summer, it was May Batherson's turn to bring the PWHL's Walter Cup for the first time. And as CTV's Brianne Foley shows us, the first Maritimer to win the cup had fans flocking to see it in person.
Finally fortunate that Nova Scotia was on Minnesota this year, so we finally have the Walter Cup here, and it's, I think, more exciting than Stanley Cup for me.
For the first time ever, the Walter Cup made an appearance on the East Coast, brought home by Nova Scotia's own May Batherson.
Since the first game, I kind of just jumped right in and tried to play my game and do what I could to help the team, and we ended up winning, so can't ask for much more in my first year.
Seeing both the Cup and Batherson is inspiring the next generation of players.
We're all from Cape Breton, and it's just amazing that a Nova Scotian has finally won this year.
It's very exciting, and she's a role model for girls like me.
I'm gonna know a lot more information about hockey here. Like, people who don't play the sport are definitely gonna maybe be curious and come down and see and meet the people.
Do you want to get me to sign it? Yeah, would you like to sign it?
Batherson knows that seeing your heroes up close helps young players dream even bigger.
You know, I try and do lots of local camps so they can see us on the ice and try to help them and just show them how fun hockey is, and they have something to dream towards now.
Be like confident when you're playing hockey.
I remember when May was saying about Turnbull, she looked up to her as a kid and all that, and then she's the one with the cup.
Oh my God, it's so heavy.
With so much talent here in Atlantic Canada, she knows her own dreams can keep growing.
I mean, I know the community and the city of Halifax would really support a team if we did have one, so hopefully that's in the near future, and I know I would want to play on that team.
But for now, the Walter Cup itself got a taste of the East Coast.
We had some mussels and lobster out of it, so it's not really much more than seafood out of a Walter Cup that I could do to show East Coast.
Brianne Foley, CTV News, Dartmouth.
Congratulations to May and to the whole team. That concludes CTV News at 5 for this evening. I'll be back with your YQM recap at 6, and Kaylin will be back with all your weather details. But for now, here's CTV National News.